Such a thing. So excited for I did some sort of a
radio?
sugar.
Yeah. Oh, radio for it.
Are you ready? I can. Oh.
This is Phil and Jennifer.
We're ordering my hot chocolate.
Oh, is that what it is? So everything will stop.
Okay, Mike, whenever you're ready.
Okay. I'm going to be all over the place because
Great.
we cobble these things together, and I apologize for the sort of lack of congruity, but too bad.
I don't care.
It'll
It
be
makes
fun.
it more interesting.
All right. I've interviewed Shirley MacLaine for at least 25 years.
Ah, you're not old enough to have done that for 25 years.
I actually am, but thank you very much. She scares me, and I need to find out you're honest. She does scare me, and I'm a grown up. I'm a strong person, but she scares me. I think she intimidates me, and I have to ask. Just talk to me about like the Shirley experience because like you definitely have it.
I have had it, and she's fantastic. I was not afraid of Shirley. I was excited by Shirley. I was inspired by Shirley. I was in awe of Shirley, I think. But she also kind of instantly took me, I felt like I knew her. You know, there was a maternal thing going on there pretty instantly.
Yeah, I think maybe she's different with reporters because, you know.
What did she say to you?
She just, you know, she's just sort of, she's one of those people that I can never, like if it's a tennis match, it's like she always hits back and I'm always missing.
Oh.
That's sort of how it is. But I love her. I mean, ooh, surely.
Yes, I know.
Of course, it's a great thing. There've been a lot of movies. There's Derail. There's this. There's The Breakup. Talk to me about sort of what sort of role this filled for you. I mean, you know, what was, rather than the gee, why'd you take it, but sort of what need professionally do you feel that this one void did it fill?
I didn't have a need professionally, really. I did it because when I read it, of all the romantic comedies, and I read a lot of them, I found it to be really kind of interesting with this graduate backdrop and the little puzzle that she had to try to figure out, and, you know. It was also right after First Job After Friends, and it was sort of an easy step out of the nest for me, you know. I kind of, nothing too complicated, nothing too deep.
Yeah, we talked to Sarah Jessica Parker about sort of her first job, which was Family Stone, and she said it was sort of really important for her to sort of make sure that the first thing was really friendly and really productive and almost sort of had a bit of a family feel to the set. Did you get that here?
I did get that here. I did, definitely. I mean, like I said, Shirley just being sort of idolized and worshipped for so long, and she just sort of took me under her wing in a way, and Mark, who is just like a dear heart and one of our greatest young actors today, I believe. And then you got Kevin Costner, who's like a legend sort of in and of himself, and Richard Jenkins, who is so wonderful and one of the funniest men. I was surrounded by talent, and you know, I felt very lucky. I think it is important, you know. It's also about how you set the tone for, you know, the passage of time, what it is that you want to spend. And there's not so much strategy involved as much as it is, well, I enjoy this experience, you know. I don't
Good
need
life
to.
lesson.
Yeah, I mean, you know, some are going to be great, some aren't going to work, some won't. But you got to at least feel that you enjoyed the experience. Otherwise, what's the point?
What do you think rumor has it is saying about love?
What's it saying about love? Oh, I hate all these moral questions. I'm never like, well, what's it saying about love? It says, you know, it's about, first and foremost, knowing and loving yourself, I would say, before you can really be present for another human being. You got to figure all that stuff out first before you share.
Because it does seem as if she's sort of settling a little bit. I mean...
By going to him, well, I won't say,
without
but
spoiling anything,
yeah.
but it seems like she's...
I think she kind of just has to go all the way to the other side of the other end of the spectrum to realize that it has nothing to do with who the other person is. It's no void to fill by anybody else but herself. You can always keep dipping onto the other side of the fence and seeing if that grass is greener, but same color everywhere you go.
She just needs to grow up like the rest of us.
That's right. She's a little bit later getting there than most of us gals. Some of us do it in our 20s. you know, she's just waited a little longer.
4 days.
Some 40s,
Some even older.
some even older, whenever it happens.
Bless your heart.
Thank you.
A friend of mine was a production manager in Chicago. Sure, anything you need. It would be great. You can tell it's that end of the day thing. It's all good though. Oh, good golly. It's a pleasure to talk to you on the occasion of Rumor Has It. By the time she appears in this movie, I finally say, there is one person in this movie that I recognize as perhaps being someone who would be in my own family. And she is it. The mouth, the drinking, the cigarettes. She's my family.
Right.
And I'm wondering if you frankly perceived her as, I mean, she offers us comic relief here. Mm-hmm. She's in some ways larger than life, but she's not larger than everyone's life because she's my mother, essentially. Do you know her? I mean, do you see that she does have a basis in reality? I'm wondering.
You know, I never had anyone in my family who was like this. I wish I had. So I've provided that in my family. I am that person in my family when they can deign to put up with it. But if I really had my druthers, I'd act like this Catherine all the time, you know, and kind of do if there's a good sense of humor around.
But it takes a really sharp wit and mind to be her, because I mean she works. Of course, she's written by someone. She's off a screenplay, but Frank,
yeah. But the man who wrote the screenplay, Ted Griffin, his mother knew the real Mrs. Robinson, and so he got these lines from where he said his mother got them.
Well, it works. I think she's really sexy. And of course, I think that says that you're really sexy because it's a physical thing. I don't know if you do play sexy, right? You know, I don't know if does an actor play sexy or do you just be it?
I don't know how to do that.
Well, you do it.
Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, I don't know. The sex would come out of my caustic wit or being domineering or something like that. If I had to play a woman who realistically seduced a man, I would have a problem because I never did that. I'm more conservative than you realize. Yeah, as wacky as people think I am and as outspoken and all that. But when it comes to these emotional, sexual things, I'm a matron from Pasadena, basically, not Catherine. And I wanted to be more than Catherine.
You know, I mean, it's interesting to look at. Obviously, you had a relationship with Anne Bancroft. Obviously, you worked with her and knew her, and I think that in some ways and it could just be because she just recently died that we think of her so much. But I think in some ways, for me, as someone who loved her work and met her a couple times and loved her personally, this was in some ways just a small homage to her. That's how I perceive it.
That is a very nice and really wonderful way to look at it. When we were making the picture, she was still around, so it didn't even occur to me to think about that film because I knew I was playing a different Mrs. Robinson. Everybody's got their rumors within a community. Listen, I have met just in the last 2 days 3 people who tell me they knew who the real Mrs. Robinson was, and the writer told me his mother knew her. I don't know if it's the same woman. Could be. And she's 80, and she's still living in Pasadena.
We'll have to hunt her down. In the meantime, the movie Bless Your Heart, it's always a pleasure. Good to see you so much.
Thank you.